Hi guys, this is Emma with Emma's Tasco Photography. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to add some flowers, some of the bluebonnets into the image. I've already chosen my two images that I'm going to use. I have this one, which is actually taken in a bluebonnet field, but there wasn't very many, so I want to add more and make it really bright and pretty. And then the key was just to find an image where the angle was similar. So this one I think is taken a little bit lower, but that's okay. I'm going to take the bluebonnets from the back here, and I'm going to put them in the sides here to make it look like these fields are more full. You have to excuse me, I've been sick all week, and I have a 3-year-old next to me, so you might hear some mumbling. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bluebonnets that I want. I'm just going to get my marquee tool, and I'm just going to select these. And now I'm going to get my drag tool right here, and I'm just going to drag them into the image. Now I'm going to hit Command T, which is going to be transform. It's going to give me the ability to kind of move them around, and then I'm going to move them down here where I want them. So I'm going to play with them a little bit afterwards because, as you can see, I don't want any of these ones in focus. I want it all to be out of focus. So for right now, let me see. I'm going to lower my opacity and see where these sit. I think they sit at just the right spot, so I'm going to leave them there. Double click. And now, next I'm going to turn off the layer that has the bluebonnets on it, so I'm just going to turn that off. Now go onto your background. Make sure your background layer is highlighted, not the layer with the bluebonnets, the background layer. And then you're just going to go up here, and you're going to select the quick selection tool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight around her. And we're going to tweak this so that you can see. Okay, so we've highlighted around her. We're going to move this a little bit and get this edge a little bit cleaner. Okay, once you've done that, you right-click and hit Refine Edge. Now this is going to clean up all these edges right here. You see how we've got some edges that are just not very good. Usually instead of trying to fix each thing, I'm just going to go through here and I'm just going to get my brush and just run over the edges. And that'll clean up anything that we've missed. The top doesn't matter so much because we don't have the bluebonnets on the top, but that's okay, I'm going to do it anyway. So you could do this with any, I mean, even if there was no bluebonnets in the field, I could still add them and it would look fine. Okay, so we've done that. These I keep my settings the same all the time. The feather is at 2, smooth. I just kind of, I've set them how I like them and I keep them that way. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to turn on the layer with the bluebonnets right here, and then I'm going to add a layer mask. And as you can see, that's just put the bluebonnets right there where they need to go. So now I can go into my mask, click on my brush tool at 100%, and I can start cleaning up what I want to clean up. So for a start, I want this gone. I mean, obviously none of that needs to be there. So I'm going to mask all of that off. And already you can see that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to turn my brush down to about, let's do 30%, just to fade out those edges a little bit, to make it look more natural. So you can see, I mean, I hardly did anything. You can barely tell. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to make those edges a little bit better if they need to be. They look pretty good though. There's just some little areas where it overlapped. Let's put that 100%. So there's just some little areas here. There's some green right there that cast over. And just clean up those edges. I'm sorry, I keep sniffling. Okay, so what I said before, she's standing, so obviously the blue bonnets are not that high. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm done with this layer. I mean, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to take a snapshot just in case I missed something and need to go back. And then I'm just going to flatten it. So I'm going to create a new layer. And now I'm just going to clone some of these flowers from up here down here so they're not so much in focus. So the bigger the clone brush, the better. And I'm just going to run along the bottom here. You can add a layer mask. If you go over, just add a layer mask and go to your brush at 100% and just mask off these little areas where you've accidentally overlapped. And that's it. We have blue bonnets. So easy. You can see, let's go, I'll show you the beginning where we started. And you could use the same concept for any other images as well. You just have to pick the right image that it'll go well with. So that's before. And that's after, so you can see. And you can turn them down. You can turn down the opacity a little bit if you want, so they're not popping so much. But I like the color, so I'm going to pop. You know, I want them to pop. If you want to brighten up the colors a little bit, you can just go into your selective color right here. You click on your blues. You go down to where the black slider is, and then just increase the black slider. You can see those blues will brighten up a little bit because they are very bright. I know this was a raw image, so they're toned down a little bit. So you always want to brighten up the flowers a little bit. If you see them, you know, in real life, you know that they're very bright. If you haven't seen them, they're a very bright blue. They're not muted at all like it looks like. So you want to turn up the blues just a little bit, which is a really quick and easy thing to do. So I hope that helped. I hope that taught you a little bit on how to add these flowers, and there are some stock images available with the flowers so you can use them. But I hope it helped. Thanks. Have a great day.